Hello, student. Today we are going to start our first chapter, The Lost Child, written by Mulk Raj Anand. Mulk Raj Anand was one of the first Indian writers who wrote in English and gained popularity at an international scale. He produced a remarkable body of work that contained several short stories, novels, and essays. The title beautifully captures the reaction of the child to the world around him before and after he is lost. The lesson is about an event that takes place in the life of a child who gets lost in a fear. It expresses the fear, anxieties, and the worries of this very young child who is separated from his parents due to his fascination with the world around him. When he gets lost and separated from his parents, however, his fascination with the world around is also lost. The story highlights the bond of love and affection that the child shares with his parents. It was the festival of spring. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes and alleys emerged a gaily clad humanity. Some walked, some rode on horses, others sat, being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. One little boy ran between his father's legs, brimming over with life and laughter. The story is set during a spring festival. There was great excitement in the atmosphere. The people could be seen busy going to the fair, all in a happy mood. Some walked, some rode on horses, some people carried in bamboo and bullock carts. A child was also heading with all their attention on reaching the fair. He was very happy and excited. जिस तरह से आप सभी भी किसी भी फेस्टिवल में जाने के लिए क्या हो जाते हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा खुश होते हैं, हैप्पी होते हैं, एक्साइटेड होते हैं, उसी तरह से जो ये बच्चा भी था, ये भी क्या था, बहुत ज़्यादा एक्साइटेड था, बहुत ज़्यादा हैप्पी था फेस्टिवल में जाने के लिए. कम चाइल्ड कम called his parents as he lagged behind, fascinated by the toys in the shops that lined the way. Now the child's joy reached its climax. Once he set his foot in the fair, his eyes got attracted to toys shop. But his parents called him, "Come, child, come." He hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient to their call, his eyes still lingering on the receding toys. As he came to where they had stopped to wait for him, he could not suppress the desire of his heart, even though he well knew the old cold stare of refusal in their eyes. The stall of toys fascinated him too much. He remained behind to see the toys in the shop. The little boy wanted the toy, but he knew that his parents could not buy it. But he could not suppress the desire of his heart that he wanted the toy. Now he pleaded his parents. He wanted that toy. His father looked at him red eyed in his familiar tyrant's way. His mother, melted by the free spirit of the day, was tender and giving him her finger to hold, said, "Look, child, what is before you?" Was of flowering mustard field, pale like melting gold as it swept across miles and miles of even land. Tyrant mean in a cruel way. Tender mean showing affection. The child goes to his parents and feels the urge to tell his parents that he wants a toy. His father gives him a strict look, while his mother gently tries to distract him by showing him the mustard field. Group of dragonflies were whistling about on their gaudy purple wings, intercepting the flight of a lone black bee or butterfly in search of sweetness from the flowers. The child followed them in the air with his gaze, till one of them would still its wings and rest, and he would try to catch it, but it would go fluttering, flapping up into the air. When he had almost caught it in his hands, then his mother gave a cautionary call. Come, child, come. Come on to the footpath. Gaudy means extremely bright. There was a waste filled full of bright yellow colored mustard flower. A group of dragonflies, black bees, and butterfly buzzed around, sucking the nectar from the flower. When one of them sat somewhere, he tried to catch them, but the tiny creatures would fly away the next instant. He ran towards his parents gaily and walked abreast of them for a while. Wing, however, soon left behind, attracted by the little insects and worms along the footpath that were teeming out from their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. Come, child, come. His parents called from the shade of a grove where they had seated themselves on the edge of a well. He ran towards them, abreast, side by side, and facing the same way, teeming out to pour or empty out. Grove, a small wood or group of trees. The child ran towards his parents. He walked next to them, but after few steps, he stopped to see the insects who were coming out of the soil. Once again, the child was left behind. The parents called him. They sat next to a well under the shady trees. The child once again ran and joined his parents. A shower of young flowers fell upon the child as he entered the grove, and forgetting his parents, he began to gather the raining petals in his hands. But lo, he heard the cooing of doves and ran towards his parents, shouting, The dove, the dove! The running petals dropped from his forgotten hands. As the child entered the shady forested area, he was welcomed by a shower of flowers. He forgot his parents and started collecting the petals that had fallen. And then he heard the cooing of doves. He started chasing the birds, and in the process, the petals fell from his hands. Come, child, come, they called to the child, who had now gone running in wild capers round the banyan tree, and gathering him up, they took the narrow, winding footpath which led to the fair through the mustard fields. Capers means a playful skipping movement. Now the parents called the child who was running and playing around the banyan tree. They lifted him and walked down a narrow lane through which they crossed the mustard field and reached the fair. As they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of throngs converging to the whirlpool of the fair, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. Throngs means huge crowds, converging, gathering. As they were about to reach the fair, the child saw huge crowds of people walking from all directions towards the fair. A sweet meat seller hawked gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and a crowd pressed round his counter at the foot of an architecture of many colored sweets, decorated with leaves of silver and gold. The child stared open eyed, and his mouth watered for the burfi. That was his favorite sweet. I want that burfi, he slowly murmured. But he half knew, as he begged, that his plea would not be heeded, because his parents would say he was greedy. So, without waiting for an answer, he moved on. At the entrance of the fair, to one corner, a sweetmeat seller had set up a shop. He was selling various sweets like gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, and jalebi. The boy's mouth watered when he saw his favorite barfi. He expressed his desire to get one in a low voice because he knew that his request would be refused for the barfi, and he walked further. A flower seller hawked a garland of gulmohar, a garland of gulmohar. The child seemed irresistibly drawn. He went towards the basket where the flower lay heaped and half murmured, I want that garland. But he well knew his parents would refuse to buy him those flowers because they would say that they were cheap. So, without waiting for an answer, he moved on. The next stall he saw that was a flower seller, and again child wanted one of those and announced his desire to have one in a low voice because he knew that his demand would not be fulfilled. The boy walked ahead without expecting a reply from his parents.